Welcome, everybody. The debate over banning TikTok or forcing its sale by ByteDance, its Chinese parent company, is generating some bizarre political bedfellows and also bizarre political opponents. None stranger, I think, than Republican Senator Rand Paul being interviewed by Fox News host Brian Kilmeade of Fox and Friends. During the interview, Rand Paul accuses Brian Kilmeade of defaming TikTok, an allegation that is so bizarre that Brian Kilmeade looks visibly confused. There is much to talk about. We've been talking on the bonus show about the potential of a TikTok sale. Let's look at a little bit of this exchange and then talk about some of the most important questions that exist here.
They've offered and actually have transferred most of their data to Texas, to an Oracle cloud. They have review of the data by Oracle to make sure it's being controlled here.
And to set this up, Rand Paul mostly defending TikTok, Brian Kilmeade the one who is less thrilled with the defenses.
They're offering to go through what's called CFIUS. CFIUS is a procedure where foreign-owned countries are trying to work to have American boards. They've also worked with the government to try to do
fundamental.
that.
I know about the Texas project, and I wish it was effective, but it isn't. We put $1 billion into it, or they did. But they did. He could not
but
assure
that's an opinion,
that
Brian.
ByteDance.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
No, nobody thinks the Texas project did. No, but nobody thinks. Let me finish. Nobody thinks the Texas project is up and running and is effective.
I do. So the thing is when you say nobody believes that it is.
And let me just finish. They could not answer. The CEO would not assure that Beijing would not have access to personal information for 170 million Americans.
I don't think that's true. I don't think
which
that's
is
true.
number one with young people. It is true. The number one with young people
even if it were true, Brian, it's an allegation. You are making allegations against a company owned by Americans, and you have to prove it in court.
Who owns that company? Who owns that company? ByteDance. ByteDance is owned by China.
No, it's not. See, that's a lie, and you're defaming the country. You're defaming the company. 60% of it is owned by international investors, 20% is owned by the software developers who are Chinese, and 20% is owned by the employees, 7,000 of whom are Americans. So it's a complicated
controls the algorithm?
But it's not owned by the government.
It's not about profits. Who owns the algorithm?
TikTok owns their own algorithm, and it's actually not in China.
Who owns TikTok? ByteDance. And who owns ByteDance? The Chinese government.
No, they don't. See, you've just told a lie, Brian. You can't say on TV something that's a lie about a company.
Okay.
That is an out-and-out lie, and it's provably false.
What is a lie?
And they're not owned by the Chinese government. TikTok is owned privately, 60% by international investors.
ByteDance controls the algorithm. That's all that matters.
You know, on this particular point, I lean towards what Brian Kilmeade really is saying, in the sense that, you know, I think there's a good analogy here with Reddit. Reddit now is going public, and Reddit has offered, apparently it's 75,000 people the opportunity to participate in the IPO. I was offered that. I don't know what algorithm, or because we have a large subreddit. I'm getting emails saying, David, you're one of the 75,000 people who can invest in Reddit if you want. If I do that, and a bunch of people do that, I don't know that it would mean that we own Reddit operationally if Reddit's algorithm is still what is controlling the content that is shown. I don't know that Rand Paul's argument that it's 60% owned by investors. Yeah, okay, shareholders, but I just don't know that that really flies. But there's really a bigger thing here, I think. And call me crazy. This is not something I usually say on the show, but I am sort of partial to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's view on this, which is we really should, as a matter of policy, have rules with regard to information privacy, sharing, and storage that the United States has for anybody that wants to operate here. And they should apply to everybody. And that includes TikTok. I'm not big on saying ban TikTok, especially when, by the way, it's possible. I'm still thinking through this. It's possible that all of a sudden, the reason so many Republicans are looking at banning TikTok is because they realize it may be a useful tool for organizing against Donald Trump and in favor of Joe Biden. Now, I'm not convinced of that. And part of that is there's lots of anti-Biden content on TikTok as well related to the Israeli-Hamas war. So it's not even obvious to me that TikTok is a net benefit for Joe Biden. It might be, in the sense that lots of young people are on there. I don't know. But I am very skeptical of the motives of Republicans when it comes to this. And I think that the Maxwell Frost AOC perspective on this is probably the one I'm most partial to. Now, here's another just short moment from this interview.
Well, Fox News, I don't know, maybe you have some foreign owners. I don't know if everybody's an American citizen. And then what if they say, well, Fox News is giving misinformation on the election?
I love the what if. That's exactly what Fox News is doing, but it's funny to hear it couched as a hypothetical.
You have a foreign ownership, you have misinformation according to the government, and all of a sudden they say, well, we're going to shut down Fox News, or we're going to shut down Twitter. So the bill isn't just about TikTok. It mentions TikTok by name, which is also a problem because laws are not allowed to target one company, but there is also a danger that it goes beyond that.
Yeah. So listen, I am not a Rand Paul fan. I actually am quite the opposite. And so the right wing arguments against TikTok's ban are not super compelling to me. But the left wing arguments against the ban are certainly more interesting to me. And I say that as someone who has absolutely zero empathy or interest in any way in emulating, supporting, or minimizing the downsides of the authoritarian rule that we have seen in China. I'm not a fan. Everybody here knows that. I don't think an outright ban is the path forward. And my hope is that an alternative solution will be found. Now, you might say, well, David, you publish to TikTok, so you have an interest in this. Okay. I mean, I think if TikTok just goes away and none of us are publishing to it anymore, we'll publish somewhere else and people will move to IG Reels and Facebook Reels or whatever. There will be a realignment. Everybody will adjust. It's really not a factor, in my opinion. I want to hear from you. Are you in favor of a TikTok ban or not? Are you in favor of forced divestment by ByteDance or not? Did you know there are hundreds of commercial databases and people search sites that hold your personal information, and the number is growing every year? Anyone in the world, boss and ex, can use these people search sites to see your online activity, to find your home address, phone number, email address, license plate number, family members, financial info, even your political beliefs. Europe has certain laws that protect people against this, but it is a big problem in the United States. The FBI is even buying this data from these companies to get private information about Americans without search warrants. And the solution is our sponsor, Incogni. It takes just moments to sign up. Incogni will send takedown notices to all of the major data broker companies to get your information removed from their databases, which they are legally required to do. And Incogni will keep you updated every step of the way with live information about who's complied, where is Incogni still working on it. Incogni will even send follow-ups and appeals on your behalf. Go to incogni.com/Pacman. You'll get 60% off with the code Pacman. The link is down below.